Hi friend. Years ago when I was studying, I spent my summer working with one of Australia's largest manufacturing companies, owned by one of Australia's most wealthiest business families. And Victoria, Melbourne at the time, was going through a heat wave, high 40°C days for about 6 days running. And where I worked in the factory was upstairs near the roofline of an old sawtooth roof building, if you know what that is. And anyway, I called my wife, who was my fiance actually at the time, at around 7 in the morning and said, hey, on your way to work, can you drop off a singlet for me? It's just 30 degrees already here and I'm not coping. So on her way to work, I met her in the car park, and not only did she drop off a singlet for me, but she'd also stopped by a supermarket and bought a box of ice creams, the classic icy pole variety, to hand out. There was 24 or 36 or whatever it was in the box. Bless her heart, she's still 10 times more generous than that. And so on my way back to the workstation, as I was passing people, I just extended the box of icy poles and people helped themselves. And by the time I got back to the machine I was working on, they were all gone. About 2 minutes later, the factory supervisor and a representative of the workers came to me and said, so where are all the other icy poles? And I explained the story and just said, hey, my fiance bought these in and I've just shared them out and they're all gone. And they said, well, what's everyone else going to do? And I said, well, I don't know. Anyway, what they ended up deciding to do was to call and proclaim a stop work, tools down period of time. And so they sent a couple of the guys from the floor to the supermarket to buy themselves and everyone else ice creams and cans of drink. And nobody was to work or touch a machine until everyone had their icy pole. Adults in the workplace. Millions of dollars worth of production stopped because of one woman's act of generosity and a sense of, what, I don't know, entitlement. Have you ever worked in an immature culture where pettiness and jealousy reigned, where competition between people and teams created a toxic environment where the focus is on scarcity rather than abundance? You know, when leaders reward individuals and they favour some people over others, it can create an environment like that. When leaders focus on setting up competition between people, it can lead to an environment like that. When people themselves don't have what they need to do their best work, they can become petty. When people have been there for a very long time and experienced modernisation or changes, and they haven't been involved or contributed to that process, they can feel displaced, left behind, disillusioned. I wonder what kind of workplace you're in and what kind of environment you're in. Have you ever seen scarcity? Have you ever seen immaturity? Have you ever seen jealousy and pettiness corrupt people's relationships and their sense of entitlement? I'd love to hear about it. Please write a comment or like if you can relate to the story. And I'd love to learn from your experience along with everyone else. Thanks for taking the time to listen. See ya.